Rabbi Kaplan?
When we say Allah on Rosh Chodesh, or when we don't eat kitniyas, so we're connecting ourselves. We're belonging to the place where the Nishmas Yisrael is connected to Hashem, which is Nishmasem Yisrael Chatzubas Mitachas Kisei HaKovod and Chelik Elokam Mimah, and the Tanya had the word Mamish. Chelik Elokam Mimah Mamish. And we're being megala that or of Nishmas Yisrael. When we keep on meaning, the Nishmas Yisrael felt that this is what you're supposed to do. That comes out. That's how you have to look at minhgim. And here, when it comes to Pesach, we don't need kidneys, we don't need rice, and we don't need peanuts. We don't need
peanuts.
Peanuts.
That's a big controversy.
We don't eat peanuts. And we don't eat other things. So we're not just staying away from any zecher of chometz. We're connecting to the sherish of the neshamas of our forefathers, and we're bringing out the chelik elokam mimah mamish with our neshamas.
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
There's a person we know, we talked about him with Avram Mordechai, that goes out every Pesach and he gets headlines and he gets interviewed, not in serious places, that he's mater kidneys. Now, you know about this person.
Yeah, I heard of this person, and I would say, Baruch Hashem, that nobody listens to him and nobody knows about him.
Maybe Rabbi Kaplan, maybe he could be called a Zaken Mamre?
I think you might be able to call him a Zaken Mamre, yeah.
Except he's not so old.
Although in the halacha mamish of Zaken Mamre, it has to be something that has to do with chayvei krisus. I don't know if this, even if it's in some far out way, it's connected to chayvei krisus. I don't know if this is it. But abizrayu or bechinas Zaken Mamre, I'm sure it is. If you heard what I just said, the whole talk that I just gave, it's terrible, mamish terrible, such a thing, that somebody should say he wants to be mate kidneys. It's ikrei hadas. It's like disconnecting the connection of the neshamas Yisrael to Hashem. It's chamuras sheba chamuras. And I would say that all this comes from the lack of tamimus and pshitus. And that was the second nekuda that I wanted to talk about tonight. When we don't eat kidneys, we're doing minig avosem b'yadayim, and that's what the Gemara says over there in Tainis Chav Ches Amud Beis. He didn't understand what kind of thing is this. You say Halal Rosh Chodesh. Whoever heard of such a thing? Oh, he saw medalge deluge, then he understood there's such a thing as minig avosem b'yadayim, and that's what the Halal Rosh Chodesh is. That means that this tamimus, that our Ovas did it, we're going to also do it. That can overpower all the ikuvim and the halachas that might forbid us to say Halal on Rosh Chodesh. But going with the minig avosem, that can be a heter for everything. Now, on the other hand, if there's such a minig avosem not to eat kidneys.
By the way, I saw an article in a book now that says this was Rabbi Avadia Yosef Zal's big thing to do away with minhagim. Minhag, he always used to say, is otiot gehenim. Maybe you could, of course he doesn't mean...
Well, it could be, it depends which minhag. But I mean,
that article. There was the article I gave you from Makori Shon, I believe. They talked about it, if you recall.
I remember.
I don't know.
So, but
the article on the Sitza Lezer. that they used to be friends, but they used to fight over this. He held, the whole article was the Sitza Lezer, held that minhgim are Kodesh Kadoshim, and Rabbi Avadia didn't. And you remember the article?
I don't remember the article, but I hear what you're saying. So I would say, I don't want to talk on Rabbi Avadia. He probably has his reasons, but I'm talking about people that are less than that, like the other person that you were talking about before. There's somebody that he wants to do away with minhgim. So it's a tremendous pegam in his neshama. It means that his look at Torah is only a chitonius dika look. He doesn't have any understanding of panemius.
His name, by the way, if we mention it, is Bar Chaim.
Oh, so this Bar Chaim, so I mean, and we are allowed to say his name, I would say, because you have to be mefarshim these people that they are machshel the rabbim to stay away from them, and this Bar Chaim that he's talking in such a way that we should be matir kidneys, is mamish pogeh in one of the chamuras. It's of course, if you don't know this Rab Tzadok and you don't know the Gemara, you think that I'm being very, very extreme. But if you look into it and you understand the omek, so you see it's chamuras sheba chamuras, that it's being pogeh in the connection of Nishmas Yisrael with Hashem. I would advise this Bar Chaim that he should be choser bo, he should change his mind. And I hope that he's hearing what we're talking tonight. And v'shover rafalo. But nachzal inyanenu. So I'm saying one thing is the feeling that the Nishmas Yisrael has that this is Ratzon Hashem. The second thing is there's an inyan to go with the derech of Avoseinu. If you go with, because the emes is that we see nowadays more than any other door, that things change and change and change. And I think it's every few years things change. I mean, I see that the language of the young generation, it's a whole different language than the language that was in my time. I mean, maybe I don't see that much, I don't hear that much, but this is what I think. And also, those that were in the world 50, 60 years ago, they saw Gedolei Yisrael that this door never saw. I saw Reb Chaim Shmulevitz. That means I saw a Yid that he knew Kol Torah Kula.
I saw him also. I saw him speak at your Tanoim.
Oh, well, let's not go into that. But I'll tell you another thing that I saw even closer. Reb Chaim Shlomo Leibovitz. So he was a grandson of Reb Baruch. He had such a natural connection to Torah. It wasn't that let's be frum, let's learn, let's force ourselves. It was just, he was mekayim the Gemara in Eruvin, v'hochel in the 6th parak, v'hochel derech sichu, elu talmidei chachamim, shekol sichoson divrei Torah. No, maybe it's the beginning of the 5th parak. Shekol sichoson, the sikh is light talk, that's also divrei Torah. And there's such a thing as light talk, small talk. It's me. It irritates me, small talk. And but that's the way the world gets. That you have to make small talk. It's like saying, "What's the weather like?" and "How is it?" and "What was it yesterday?" And underneath it all, you're saying, "I hate you. I hate you." That's small talk. But but Talmidei Chachamim, it's called Sichason, is divrei Torah. I feel the Sicha, the small talk, it's also divrei Torah. I mean, there's also in divrei Torah itself.
Pute d'oraisa, like it says.
What?
Pute d'oraisa.
Oh, there's Pute d'oraisa, the Rishami, and the end of Brachas, Kuchabrichu Chodi, Pute d'oraisa. There's a Gemara in the beginning of the second parak, or the third parak in Megillah. Rakas and Koshus Me'umad and Rakas were Meyushev, or the opposite, Koshus Meyushev. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he learned in Har Sinai, the harder halachas he learned when he was sitting. And Rakas, the easier halachas he learned Me'umad. So you can talk easier things. You can talk on Chumash, but not small talk, not empty, meaningless talk. And that's this generation. It's gone down, down, down. Shochol le'ofer nafshenu, dovka lo'oretz bitneinu, David HaMelech said. B'nai Korach said it, and David HaMelech wrote it in Tehillim. We're so low down to the earth. What small talk? What kind of thing is it, small talk? There was. I once met, I met her a few times. There's a physical therapist. He lives in Kiryat Moshe. I think his name is Stein. It could be Menachem Stein, maybe. And he would come home with us many times, and we come home from the talk of Rav Tzimei on Friday. So he's a physical therapist, and he worked with Rav Dov Schwartzman 6 years, I think. So when we were coming home right after he was nifted, somebody asked him, "Can you say something about him?" So he said, "I'll tell you one thing. There wasn't such a thing as small talk by him. Small talk, he could, not only there wasn't, he couldn't take it, he couldn't stand it. It irritated him. Small talk, kindness."
Sounds like you, Rabbi Kaplan.
Oh, well, thank you for the compliment, and I don't know if I ever got such a compliment in my life. So this is what the therapist said, that he was no small talk by him, and he was irritated by small talk. That's Ikris the Mashiach where we're holding in this generation. And the answer for this problem, for this emptiness, is to go with the Derech Avoseinu. And I'm telling you that I saw Reb Chaim Shlomo Leibovitz. I hardly understood what he talked. I was too young to understand him. But I saw how he behaved. He didn't have humorism from but he was kulo talking and learning. There was also the small talk by him was Sipurei Tzadikim. That was the small talk. Talk about his grandfather Rab Baruch Bed, talk about Rab Chaim Brisker. But that was his small talk, to say stories about the Anhogas of Gedolei Yisrael that he was mekabel. But he was a lamdan argon. He had no gaiva and no showing off. It was all natural by him, the talking and learning. What are you going to talk about? You talk and learn. So that's when, and we that we're in such a low generation, we're in the door of Shochal Ofer Nafshenu. So we should remember these people. We should remember these anhogas. We should somehow connect to it. And when we don't eat kidneys, we're connecting ourselves to the Avos Avosenu. That means to say that we're doing what they did, and more than just doing what they did, we're remembering how an Avera was chomer to them, and what kind of pachad they had that we might find one berry of wheat mixed in the rice. It'll be a mashu chometz that we're going to cook together with the rice of mashu chometz. No, you could say it's Isha D'Rabbanan, and it's B'Shogeg. And maybe Isha D'Rabbanan B'Shogeg is not a Isha. You can say all kinds of things you want. But it's fire. A Mashu Chometz that's B'Tarubis is a Isha D'Rabbanan, and it's fire. And it's also poison. So you're going to say...
Rabbi Kaplan, we're taking a break. Thank you.